Good evening, Rams! Welcome to the final stretch of CTV Geeks. Once again, I'm Tom Isaacson.
And I'm Alex Prast. Since we last got together, we've gotten a lot of news we'll be filling you in on. Trailers, and more trailers came out in the last few weeks, on top of a handful of movie and show announcements that we are going to be updating you on. And we may have some opinions to share about them as well.
On top of that, we will definitely fill you in on Star Wars Celebration 2023 and the disappointment about this year's E3 event. After touching base with the newest advancements in luxury vehicles, we'll move from one type of technology to another as Alex explores the field of cybersecurity.
And then, with all this zombie talk in our movies, shows, and news, Tom will ask an important question. How feasible is a zombie outbreak?
All this and more starting right now.
Now hold on to your seats, there are a lot of things to cover tonight, but first things first, let's get into some nerd news.
It seems the biggest studios in Hollywood got together and decided to drop their biggest trailers all in the span of about 5 days. In case you missed any of the big-time trailers amid all the news, we've got a quick recap for you. Now, a lot of trailers came out for a lot of movies I'm really excited for. First and foremost, Indiana Jones 5. Oh my goodness, it looks phenomenal.
Phenomenal. I can't tell you how excited for this I am, especially since they're going to not really consider Indiana Jones 4 as part of it. Like, obviously, it's still canon, but they're treating this as the true Indiana Jones 4 to wrap up the whole saga.
Yes.
Looks phenomenal.
It really does. And the trailer alone looks super entertaining.
Yeah.
And that means really good things for the movie, especially with Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
I think he's actually kind of excited for this one, which is kind of nice.
Well, like, I compare it to Star Wars, because obviously he doesn't like his role in Star Wars, but apparently he loves his role in Indiana Jones.
Yes.
And I think we're going to get a scene similar to Force Awakens, because there's a scene where Han Solo's like, you know, the Force, the Jedi, it's true, all of it. But in the trailer, we're getting these audio clips where he's like, yeah, I've been shot this many times. I've been tortured by voodoo. I've seen things I can't explain. I'm like, we might get this awesome scene where he just monologues about all the previous movies, and that just gets me all nerded up and giddy.
I'm so excited. One of my favorite movies of all time is Raiders of the Lost Ark, so I am really excited.
Now, second, Marvel dropped a trailer. We got the second trailer for Secret Invasion.
Yes.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah.
It looks like we're finally getting back to that spy thriller of Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that was one of my favorite parts of Winter Soldier, was that kind of that secret agent vibe that Nick Fury has. I really liked that part. And I got to say, Sam, I like the beard. Looks good.
Oh, it looks so good. Like, you know, he's leaving the scar out in the open, more prosthetics. He just looks BA.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
I think it looks great. I can't wait for it to come out.
Oh, yeah. Now, next, to compete with it, DC dropped a trailer. We got Blue Beetle, which is going to be the first official DCU film on James Gunn's plan. Whew, that's a tongue twister. But I'm so excited for this. It looks like we're getting some Spider-Man vibes of this young, quirky character who's going to be donning the blue scarab.
Yeah, I'm not that interested.
Oh, you're missing out.
I
It
know,
looks so good.
And I like Blue Beetle and like Teen Titans and things like that. I like it, but something about it just kind of rubs me wrong about this. Like, the suit doesn't look very good. It's just, I don't know. I'm not that interested.
I love it. The suit's great.
What I will tell you that I am interested in is the Barbie movie. I am not kidding about this. I'm actually really excited. But in all actuality, what I'm super excited for is the double feature, because along with the Barbie movie on the same day is Oppenheimer. It looks so good. Christopher Nolan's next piece. I have been waiting for this since Tenet, and I love that movie.
Oh, Christopher Nolan is such an artist. Everything he touches, amazing movies. Even some of his older ones are still great. And the fact that we're getting another one that's going to be similar to Dunkirk of being more historically accurate, and then also the Barbie movie in the same day, wow.
I know. I'm dressing up.
So fun. I'm dressing up.
I think that'll
be
fun.
going.
Oh, yeah, we're going.
We're totally going.
Now, there are rumors going around, some speculation that one of them might be pushed back so they don't compete for box office. I think they should go full in and just say, we're on the same day. go to Oppenheimer and be thoroughly depressed and then fix your day with Barbie.
100%. Just do the team up. Everybody's on both sides.
Amen.
Now, going back to Marvel, we got the first trailer for The Marvels, the sequel to Captain Marvel. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm pleasantly surprised.
I'm actually kind of excited to check this out. I don't know if I'll go see it in theaters. I might wait until it's done on Disney Plus. Might wait. But I'm pretty psyched. I think all these characters are going to be really fun to watch.
Well, they're bouncing off each other so well, and I love the gimmick of this movie, of the fact that any of the three of them use their powers, they swap positions.
Yes.
That's going to make for some really, really interesting fight scenes, as we see in the trailer, like a scene where one of them blasts and it swaps. So fun.
That'll be cool. Now, Dad, this one's for you because we also got the new trailer for Across the Spider-Verse, one of my personal favorites and one of my dad's personal favorites too. That's why I called him out there. What else can I say about this?
I'm so excited. The first one is so good and so emotionally in-depth, but this one I'm shocked. It looks like they're going to go for a much more emotionally heavy story.
Yes, I completely agree with that, and I'm really excited. Now, my question for you, Alex, is what of all of these are you the most excited for? What's your favorite trailer?
I just going off the trailer in combination with nostalgia, I have to go with Indiana Jones 5. I was grown up off this character. I love him so much. My dad introduced me to him. I went as Indiana Jones for Halloween, I think 4 years in a row.
Aww.
So I love this character. I'm so excited that he's getting another chance to have an epic finale. So it had to be my favorite.
Nice.
Easily.
I think my favorite is definitely Oppenheimer, but in a very, very close second place is without a doubt Indiana Jones 5.
Absolutely. Well, all of these trailers did a great job at getting us excited for what's to come next. There's a little something for everyone in them. But if you're looking for more hype, we have news for even further ahead. A live-action Pokemon movie is now in the works, as well as a live-action Minecraft movie featuring Jason Momoa.
Interesting casting choice. We don't really know how a live-action Minecraft movie is supposed to work, but you know what? I can't wait to see what the production team comes up with. I'm sure it'll be fun.
100%. Now, something we don't know how to feel about yet, though, is that Warner Brothers and HBO are working to create a reboot of the Harry Potter series. This reboot will be a TV show rather than a series of movies, and Warner Brothers wants to run the show for multiple seasons, likely one season for each of the 7 books.
Whoa, that's a lot of TV.
It's a lot of TV.
Now, this is going to be an all-new cast, and here's the new logo. Let's get it up on the screen. Here we go. All right, come on. We got some fancy candle animations. Is it going to be interesting? Is it going to be fun? It's the exact same.
It's the exact same.
It's the exact same.
It's the exact same.
J.K. Rowling will not be writing the show, but she will be executive producing the show, which means that she's in a lot of power, which is a bit of a yikes.
A lot of creative power. I don't know how I feel about this. I think, obviously, one of the biggest concerns is the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling, but also Warner Brothers, makes a lot of money off of the current aesthetic and, appeal to Harry Potter as it is. All their theme parks, they're not going to change all of them for this new show. They're going to keep it how it was.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe is easily the most recognizable role.
He is Harry Potter.
But with a new cast and then, not many other changes, same logo and even the same music? How is it going to be, how are we going to switch off our brains from, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson to whoever? Now, it is interesting to note that this is going to be releasing on HBO, which recently rebranded as Max. Yes, HBO dropped their own name from the title of their streaming service, which is a little weird, but really not as weird as this whole Harry Potter thing. I'm not super interested.
It's coming off very strange, especially with how recently, it's only been 10 years since the last Harry Potter movie, so it's feeling kind of funky that they're trying to instantly reboot this now.
Yeah, I agree.
While we may not be too eager to welcome back a huge media event from 12 years ago, we were excited to see the return of the Electronic Entertainment Expo. However, almost a year after introducing its return, the Entertainment Software Association announced to its members that this year's Electronic Entertainment Expo, also known as E3, has been canceled.
What a shame.
What a shame.
I'm a little sad because it was supposed to take place between June 13th and 16th in LA. Pretty normal. It was canceled in an email to the ESA and E3 employees first. The press release generally says something just kind of about, hey, we're really sorry. They're doing what they feel is right for the industry and for E3, which I get. I get it. They're sort of skewed the blame towards other companies, which definitely...
I mean, that's fair. I was going to say, I think this mostly is a bummer for nostalgia reasons. I loved watching E3 5 years ago, but it's lost what it's become, and I think that's because several major game publishers pulled out of the expo. You know, you got Sony doing their own thing, you got Microsoft doing their own thing. All these companies just keep pulling out.
Nintendo Direct, all of that stuff. It's just terrible. By the way, huge oversight on Microsoft's part for not calling their Xbox event Xbox Live.
Oh yeah,
come on.
Opportunity. Oh, and Ubisoft also dropped out.
Yeah, that's the other big deal.
Those are like a bunch of big AAA title game makers. And of course, like if I want to find out about all the cool games, I'm going to go to their events because they got the cool games.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So it is sad to see the fall of E3.
It is sad to see it, but it didn't feel unexpected.
I agree.
Now, it has been confirmed that the Entertainment Software Association is working on E3 2024, but we'll see how viable that option is given that so many companies have moved on to other events to showcase their work.
Now, it's a well-known fact that I am a car enthusiast, but one brand I have never actually been super keen on is Lamborghini. Well, all of that is changing with the newly announced Lamborghini Revolto. Now, let's take a look at this car because it is breathtaking. This is the first big Lamborghini since the 2011 Aventador. And I know you're not a car guy, Alex. Let me explain this. This is the first big V12 engine car they've released in 12 years. That's a big deal. They don't do that very often. But what makes this car super interesting, besides the fact that, just look at it, it's breathtaking, is that it is actually a hybrid drive system. Seriously, look at it. It's a hybrid drive system, which of course you might think, oh, like a Prius? No. This is not like a Prius. A lot of other supercar manufacturers have been going off on this whole hybrid drive system. For example, Ferrari, McLaren, Porsche, all of them. Now, for all your motorheads out there, just a couple of quick facts. Top speed, 210 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. That is lightning fast. But in today's economy, what a lot of people are interested in is fuel consumption. I mean, not really, it's a supercar. But no fuel consumption figures have been given, but estimates show anywhere between 15 to 40 miles per gallon, which is a lot better than the Aventador, which got 8.
And for again, I'm not a car guy, but for a V12, that's a very high MPG.
Yeah, that's insane.
Wow.
And it's pretty impressive where the technology is going. So I have to ask Alex, I mean, I've gotten to drive some Teslas around. We've seen the future of electric cars. Yeah. Is the hybrid drive system more of what we're going for here? Is this what we can expect for the future?
I think so. I think we're moving towards a more electric car industry, especially when it comes to like supercars. A lot of people don't realize this, but electric motors, just on the basic science of them, they can spin a lot faster, a lot quicker.
Yes.
So if you're looking for some awesome speed, you got to go electric.
I know. Those Teslas that I drove, a lot of you may remember, the new Tesla Roadster will do 0 to 60 in 1.8 seconds. The first ever production level car to break 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
So I'm really excited. Lamborghini, if you have a spare one, I would love to take it for a spin.
Well, in other news, Star Wars Celebration 2023 wrapped up this past weekend, and the annual event did not disappoint.
Not at all.
Wow. So much was dropped.
Yes.
I'm so excited about this. We got the Andor Season 2 trailer, which, again, was leaked, so we can't fully show it. Disney will come right for us.
Yes.
But it looks really good. We don't get any spoilers about what's happening for the story. We get a lot of really cool hero shots from behind the back, like the first show, or first season, and it just looks amazing.
I'm excited.
I'm so pumped. After Andor Season 1, this might be my second most excited project for me.
I think I know what your first most excited project is.
I think you do, Tom.
Because it's my favorite project that's coming up, and that is Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Oh my God, finally!
After all this time, I have been so pumped for this. I mean, arguably one of the top 5 best Star Wars characters ever.
Amen.
And Dave Filoni, he's been doing great work. He's been working on this for a long time. And it was like 8 months ago that he announced, while cutting together the first episode, he described it as a religious experience.
That means a lot. And
that means a lot.
I think it's really cool to see the journey that Ahsoka has taken from arguably the most obnoxious character in Star Wars to fan #1 favorite. Now, something else that came out was the Acolyte. We got a new logo as well. Now, Alex, can you tell me a little bit about what this is going to be like?
Absolutely, Tom, I can. I'm so excited for the Acolyte. It's going to be a Sith-based show. So the Sith are going to be the protagonists instead of the Jedi. We don't know a lot about it, but we have heard that it's going to take place during the Old Republic, so a couple hundred years before the original trilogy. And on top of that, the director or the showrunner, I believe, said that the Jedi are not going to be treated very nicely in this show.
Oh, I like that.
I'm kind of excited for that. We'll get to see a little more of the darker side of the Star Wars universe, kind of like what Andor showed us, and I hope we get to explore some weird sides of Star Wars, like with the Sith and a lot of that extended lore. I'm pretty pumped.
That sounds great, dude. I'm excited now. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, looking next, we got another show coming. It's Skeleton Crew, and I'm so excited for this one. We don't know very much. We know Jude Law is going to be the main character, and potentially it's going to be a heist movie with him putting together a crew. Now, again, that's unconfirmed. We know almost nothing about this, except it's supposed to be coming very, very soon. And there was another trailer that was released for this. Well, not officially. It was only shown again and then was leaked later. But it looks really cool.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. Now, there was one other big project that got announced, and it's a solo movie. Now, everyone at home, let's take a second. Who in the Star Wars universe do you think deserves a solo movie? Is it Master Yoda? Is it Qui-Gon Jinn? No, it's none of those, because we're getting a movie about Rey.
Now, honestly, Tom, I'm pretty excited for this. I'm pumped. I'm very excited.
Well, tell me why.
Well, first of all, it's taking 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, and it's going to be exploring Rey rebuilding the Jedi Order and starting anew.
I'm not interested.
I'm also very pumped, too. We could get a second chance to show Rey as an incredible character. Maybe we'll even get John Boyega in there, since he teased having Force abilities, and we could actually get a very, very solid character arc for him becoming a Jedi. I think would be phenomenal. He deserves it. I'm pumped that he has a chance for a second chance.
I would be all in on I forgot what's his name in the movie. That's how unforgettable he is.
Finn.
Finn.
Now I will say, I know you're not pumped about that, but we did get 2 other movies confirmed. It's not a trilogy. They're all separate. So one of the movies is going to be directed by Dave Filoni, who obviously did Clone Wars and is doing Ahsoka and did Mando, as well as The Bad Batch. And it's going to be around the time of the Mandoverse, is what people are calling it. So it's Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, the Ahsoka show. It's going to be tying all that together, and that's all we kind of know about it.
That's interesting.
Now, the other movie we got confirmed is being described as a biblical epic, and it's going to be following the first ever Jedi to create the Jedi Order 25,000 years before the original Star Wars trilogy.
See, now you got my attention. I would definitely watch that.
That sounds interesting.
Here's the thing. I forgot Finn's name because they absolutely murdered his character. Not in the actual sense of murder, but they destroyed his character development.
Unfortunately.
And I'm really just, I'm just not interested in Rey Star Wars.
I'm pumped. I think it'll be fun. Now, we did also get confirmed second seasons for both Tales of the Jedi and Star Wars Visions. That sounds really cool. I personally didn't finish Star Wars Visions, which is a shame. I loved it so far. But Tales of the Jedi, wow.
Looks really good.
No notes.
No notes whatsoever.
So
and I've always talked about how much I love Star Wars Visions. I mean, giving creators and independent studios the chance to tell their own Star Wars story, so cool.
So fun.
I'm really excited about a second season of that, because all 9 episodes of the first season were if you love Death and Robots, you will love Star Wars Visions.
100%.
Really good.
Well, all this, along with second season looks at Tales of the Jedi and Star Wars Visions, makes for a super exciting slate of Star Wars projects in the coming years.
Mostly.
This galaxy feels a lot bigger than ever before.
All right, geeks, that's all the nerd news we have for you today. Stay tuned after this short break for a dive into the complex but increasingly relevant world of cybersecurity. You won't want to miss it.
Phishing emails, downloadable viruses, denial of service attacks, ransomware, and spoofing. The threats of cyber attacks, no matter how big or small, they're growing every day. Now, because of this, the field of cybersecurity is also growing every day.
It's true.
So let's take a look at it. What is cybersecurity and why is it important?
Cybersecurity is a term we've all heard, but it seems to get thrown around a lot. Does it refer to awesome hackers in their mom's basement? Does it refer to the government breaking into digital information vaults? Does it specifically talk about that one weird guy you can't block who keeps getting a hold of your Netflix account? What does cybersecurity actually mean? Well, as a whole, many people base their knowledge off of what they've seen. Often examples include popular TikTok trends that depict RFID scanners at ATMs that steal credit card information. Even how often bot accounts on Instagram or Snapchat try to DM you and want to send you money.
When you actually break it down, cybersecurity is a much broader subject. Online, cybersecurity is defined as the practice of protecting critical systems and sensitive information from digital attacks. This definitely does not narrow it down. In fact, it actually encompasses everything we've already looked at. It does include cyber attacks from and on the government. It does include your credit card information getting stolen. And yes, it does include your Netflix account getting hacked into. However, there are some differences in how common these different attacks are. On our level, we most commonly see what is called brute forcing, social engineering, and phishing.
Brute forcing tends to be the most well-known method of hacking. This is specifically a method of password cracking on digital accounts. It is essentially a hacker setting up a digital bot to attempt every single combination of letters, numbers, and symbols on a password until it gets one correct for the account it wants. You can essentially think of it as someone trying every key on Earth for one lock. That may take a long time, except with technology, you can imagine a person trying between 10,000 and 1 billion keys per second on that lock. This makes it very easy to break into an account if the password's short and simple. Hackers have even streamlined the process to involve more intelligent brute forcing, such as dictionary attacks where it can pull from a dictionary to try a combination of words, or symbol replacing where it can turn a password something like this into something more like this, which is a very common practice, and most people do this when making what they think is a strong password.
The most prevalent we see in our day-to-day with the commonality of social media is social engineering. This is when people use context and information they already have on a person to attempt to deceive them into giving other more important information. A funny example looks something like this.
We're talking about cybersecurity today and how safe people's passwords are. What is one of your online passwords currently?
It is my dog's name and the year I graduated from high school.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Chihuahua Papillon,
And what's its name?
Jameson.
Jameson. And where'd you go to school?
I went to school back in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
What school?
Hempfield Area Senior High School
Oh, when did you graduate?
in 2009.
Oh, great.
While that may be comical on the surface, it really can be that easy. Another common example is your grandparents getting a call from someone pretending to be a family member, asking for emergency money, or scam callers saying,
"We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty."
However, the biggest rise in this trend has come in the shape of emails and DMs. College student emails especially get filled with special offers to make lots of money quickly, or DMs from random accounts constantly trying to quote-unquote give them money for free. Unfortunately, there are lots of people deceived by this. An extended branch of social engineering is something called phishing. No, not phishing with an F, phishing with a PH. This is when something like a website or login page is specifically designed to look deceiving and trustworthy so that the target easily gives away their information. Cybersecurity can be a scary thing. However, there are ways to be safer digitally.
It's always important to verify sources and double-check websites. If something seems off, it probably is. You can also create stronger passwords, and you can even check how long it would take a password cracker to guess that password online using sites like this one. As important as it is being active online, it is just as important to make sure your data is secure.
I gotta tell you, Alex, that car's extended warranty thing activated my fight or flight. I have a lot of traumatic memories with those phone calls.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Going back to one of our more recent episodes, you talked a lot about AI.
Oh, that's right.
People have been doing these scam calls using AI sampling of voices, and there was an incident recently where this woman was convinced it was her daughter calling her because they copied her voice using AI. So you gotta be extra vigilant now, especially with cybersecurity and scam calls.
That is terrifying.
Absolutely. Well, after the break, we'll explore a sort of breach that cybersecurity may not be too much help with, a zombie outbreak. Stay tuned.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back from the break. Zombies are a fascinating figure in pop culture. Yes, they are scary and kind of cool to look at, but they also serve as a reflection of people's fears. For example, what it means to lose your humanity or the threat of globalization. How legitimate are those fears? And honestly, how realistic are our fears of a zombie outbreak? Well, I spoke with an expert of infectious diseases and researched the origin of the idea of a zombie outbreak to find out more.
Zombies, pop culture's favorite monster. The dead rising again and roaming the streets near you.
The zombies' first pop culture appearance was in 1968, but they were thought up well before then. Yes, indeed. In fact, the idea of a zombie was first originated by African slaves who believed their punishment for taking their own life would be to wander the earth as literal walking dead. Okay, depressing facts aside, the first appearance of a zombie was in the movie Night of the Living Dead, which was your typical zombie thriller. Zombies have taken their bite out of modern pop culture, everything from Michael Jackson's Thriller to big horror movies. However, as the times have changed, so have the zombies. In the early 2000s, with the rise of dangerous contagions, this so-called zombie virus was born.
In short, this zombie virus has taken many forms over the years, but generally, it's an infectious virus that spreads quickly, turning people into violent, almost brainless, flesh-starved horror monsters that attack anything and anyone they see. But how would it work in real life? And how long would it take for total chaos to ensue?
It all starts at, well, the start. Where does a zombie outbreak begin? Well, to be honest, that's completely arbitrary. It could begin anywhere. Los Angeles, New York City, Fort Collins, Colorado. It doesn't really matter. And beyond that, there are a ton of other factors we need to consider. Yeah, there's a lot of things we need to consider here. Things like speed of the zombie, resistance to disease, infection rate, bite strength. Okay, yes, it's much more complicated than we thought it would be. So why don't we turn it over to someone who knows a lot more than... Wait a second, are those the emergency rations?
This is Dr. Zabel, who studies infectious diseases and something called prions.
Prions are a really different type of pathogen, unlike viruses or bacteria or fungus. But they do invade the brain, and they can make an infected individual act or appear zombie-like. So after you're infected or a bite, then the pathogen has to replicate in the host fairly quickly, right? So that then that person who has just been bitten becomes the next person to spread, right? Because if it takes too long to build up and replicate, then the host isn't going to be spreading it, right? So it has to replicate at sufficient rate so that that newly bitten person can now be a vector, right, and can transmit it again. So that's one thing. So typically we're not, eating each other, and we're not biting each other. And so that's why these diseases are probably not likely to cause a huge zombie apocalypse. But there is that one case, right, of kind of the same thing, right? This ritualistic cannibalism, consuming other people, and that is transmitting this zombie-like disease. The likelihood of a true sort of, Hollywood movie like zombie apocalypse probably isn't in the cards, right? But I think we've just experienced something that's pretty darn close to that.
Okay, so we know how fast a zombie virus can spread, especially through a populated area. But realism aside, how do you survive the zombie apocalypse?
Well, first and foremost, what you're gonna want to do is get away from everybody, because you never know who's gonna end up being a zombie. Escaping to places like wildernesses, away from the populace, is a great first start to surviving the first initial outbreak, but from then on there are a few important steps you need to take. First and foremost, only bringing people that you know and can verify are not infected. Then once you're away from most of the population, what you're gonna need to do then is start setting up a shelter, much like this tent, and then go full Bear Grylls and go full survival man, including your own supply of food rations.
Stop eating the food rations!
And that is how you can survive the They're here.
Thanks again to Dr. Zabel for joining me and informing me about all this fascinating science.
Well, Rams, it's that time of the night again. We've covered lots of nerd news and demonstrated the potential of cybersecurity.
On top of that, we learned a little bit more about how a zombie outbreak will be. You may be safe for now, but get your emergency plan ready. Personally, I'm headed to Costco, then straight for the mountains.
That's so valid, Tom. And on top of that, you know all about all the exciting movies that will be hitting theaters this summer. And who knows, you may catch us in those theaters right there with you.
I can't wait for the Barbie and Oppenheimer double feature, but until next time,
have a great night and stay classy, Rams.